Hi guys, this is Sadik from Debugging.com, and in this video, we'll show you how to flash a custom ROM, install TWRP Recovery, and then root it via Magisk, and ultimately we will then relock the bootloader on our phone. Yes, you heard that right. This is going to be one of the most interesting video till date. So let's get started. First off, let me show you. Currently, I'm using that ROM. The name of the ROM is Jaguar ROM. You could easily install this ROM, then root your phone, install the TWRP Recovery, and ultimately relock the bootloader without any issue. As a result of this, you could easily install all the Magisk modules and carry out all the rooted tweaks and use the TWRP Recovery without the risks of safety net getting tripped or any banking and payment type issues as such. There will be no issues as such because the bootloader has been relogged. So as of now, you could see my phone is rooted by Magisk. It's the latest version. Likewise, let's now reboot to the TWRP Recovery, and I'll show you that as well. I have the recovery installed, and after that, I'll show you the status of my bootloader as well. So my phone should now reboot into the TWRP Recovery. The screen, as you could see, the device has loaded a different OS, and we are getting a new ID as well. This has happened because we have carried out a new tweak, which I will show you in this video as well. Anyways, let's just wait, and as you could see, we are now inside the recovery. So we even have a custom recovery installed, and let's wait for it to boot up. And now let me boot it into Fastboot mode. So it will now boot into Fastboot mode, and then I will show you the status of my phone. It will take a few seconds. As you could see, it's showing us logged. So the bootloader is currently logged, but even then I have a custom ROM running on my phone. It's rooted via Magisk, and a custom recovery is also installed. So in this video, we'll show you how to do just that. It's going to be a long journey ahead. So let's get started. First and foremost, you will have to get hold of the Android SDK platform tools. So get it from my guide and extract them onto your PC. Okay, before that, one important thing to keep in mind, the option to have your phone rooted via Magisk and then relock the bootloader is a paid feature of this ROM. Apart from that, you may use the ROM as usual free of cost, but if you want to root your phone and then relock the bootloader, for that it's a paid feature. You'll have to contact the ROM developer and he will give you a file, and using that file you may then relock the bootloader and then use your phone in a rooted ecosystem on a locked bootloader. So this is the file I am talking about. You will have to pay the developer the fees, and he will then transfer and give you this file, the pkmd.bin file, and this is the file which is only around 520 bytes, which will carry out all the tasks. If you don't want to pay, not an issue. You could easily use the ROM and root the ROM, but you will not be able to relock the bootloader. Apart from that, all the other features are free to use. But if you want to relock the bootloader after flashing and obtaining root, then you will have to contact the developer, get in touch with him, and then get the job done. So as you could see, this is the feature. Over here, it's his email ID. You could contact him and he will then give you this file upon the payment, and then you could get the job done. So with that in mind, let's get started. First and foremost, you will have to get hold of Android SDK platform tools. So get it from my guide and extract them onto your PC. You could extract them anywhere you want. In my case, I've done the extraction in C drive, and these are the files of platform tools. Once you have done the extraction, your next course of action is to enable USB debugging and OEM unlocking. USB debugging is required to ADB commands, and OEM unlocking is required to unlock the bootloader on your phone. So go to the settings, system menu, additional settings, developer option, and tap on build number 7 times. This will enable the developer option. Then enable the toggle next to USB debugging and OEM unlocking. Once that is done, you will now have to get hold of the ROM file. Again, I'm repeating, flashing and using this ROM file is free of cost. There is no charge as such. The charge is only on relocking the bootloader after flashing the Magisk zip file. As of now, you could easily flash the ROM with it's completely free of cost. So get hold of the ROM file. As of now, I'll show you how to flash it on the OnePlus 9 Pro. The instruction for all the other phones are somewhat different. If you want me, I'll make a different guide and a video on the same. As of now, I'll show you for the OnePlus 9 Pro. So get hold of the ROM file, and once you have got the ROM, let's move ahead with the next step. So now we will have to flash the OxygenOS 11 in slot A, and for that we will have to use the MSM tool. I have made a separate guide and a video on the same. You could refer to my guide and get this job done. So let me just a minute, let me show you how to flash the MSM tool OxygenOS 11 version. Go to my guide, and from here get hold of the MSM tool for OnePlus 9 Pro, and then you may download any of the version which is for Android 11 and it should correspond to your phone. So download the version from here, and once you have got the MSM tool, extract them onto your PC. So let me show you. So just a minute. This is the MSM tool in my case. Extract them onto your PC, and then you will get all these files. We'll now have to flash the .ops firmware via MSM tool. So first off, unplug your phone from the PC, and now you will have to launch the MSM tool. So launch via exe file and click on yes in the pop-up that appears. Now wait for a few seconds, and after that you will have to select others in the login and click on next. So click on next and then click on the start button. It will now show the status as waiting for device. Now you will have to power off your phone. So let's power it off. Once your phone has been powered off, you will now have to press and hold the volume up and volume down keys. And while holding both this key, connect your phone to PC via USB cable. So let's do that. And your phone should now reboot into the EDL mode. And as soon as that happens, the flashing will automatically start in the MSM tool. So as you could see, the flashing has started. It could take up to around 6 to 8 minutes, or anyways somewhat longer as well in some cases. So let's just wait for the flashing to complete. So guys, the flashing is now done, and in the MSM tool, as you could see, we have got the download complete message, and your phone will now reboot to the OS. The first boot up will take up some time. That is completely normal. So let's now move ahead with the next step. So with this, we have flashed the OxygenOS. As of now, the OxygenOS 11 will be there in slot A. That's well and good. And now we will have to unlock the bootloader. This is just for the temporarily use case scenario. Once we are done with the task, we will then do a relock as well. So we are only unlocking the bootloader for now. And once everything is done and dusted, we will then do a relock as well. So for unlocking the bootloader, as you might be aware, since we have flashed the firmware via MSM tool always tends to lock the bootloader. So we will now have to unlock the bootloader. For that, let's just wait for the phone to boot to the OS. After that, we'll have to boot our phone to the Fastboot mode and then unlock the bootloader and then move ahead. So the first boot up will take up some time. Let's just wait for it to boot up. So guys, with this, we are now inside the OS. So let me quickly skip this process and take you to the OS. And now we have to enable OEM unlocking, and this is the reason why we have to boot to the OS. Otherwise, we could have simply used the hardware key combination and booted to the directly Fastboot mode using the hardware key combination. But you cannot do so because you have to enable OEM unlocking as well from developer option. Otherwise, we could have simply used the hardware key combination to boot to the Fastboot mode. But since this will not work because we have to now enable OEM unlocking as well beforehand. So go to the settings menu on your phone, then go to about phone and tap on build number 7 times. You will get a prompt that you are now a developer. So go back and again go back, then go to system developer option and enable the toggle next to OEM unlocking as well as USB debugging, and now tap on OK in the prompt that appears. You might get an RC key prompt as well. In that case, tap on allow, and with this, debugging is now enabled. In case of OEM unlocking, as you could see, currently it's not enabled. So you will have to connect your phone to the internet, and let me do so that once you have made the connection, you have to close the settings menu and then reopen it. So first off, let me connect my phone to the Wi-Fi. It will take only a few seconds, and once that is done, you will have to close the settings menu on your phone and wait for around 10 to 15 seconds, and after that the OEM unlocking toggle will be re-enabled. So guys, as you could see, now it's enabled. So simply enable the toggle next to OEM unlocking. You will get a prompt on your phone. Tap on enable, and with this we have enabled both the OEM unlocking as well as USB debugging. So let me do that once again, and now we could boot our phone to the Fastboot mode and carry out the unlocking process. So let's open the command prompt inside platform tool folder. Now type in adb reboot bootloader and hit enter, and your phone will now reboot into Fastboot mode. It will take only a few seconds. So let's just wait for that to happen, and then we'll move ahead with the next step. And now, as you could see, we are inside the Fastboot mode. Now type in Fastboot devices and hit enter, and make sure that you're getting a serial ID. If you're not getting any ID, then you'll have to install Fastboot drivers. I made a separate guide and a video on the same. You could refer to my guide and video and get the job done. Once you've installed the drivers, let's now move ahead. So now type in Fastboot flashing unlock and hit enter, and you will now get a prompt on your phone. Now keep in mind that unlocking the bootloader will wipe off all the data, and it might make the warranty null and void as well. If that's well and good, then let's move ahead. So use the volume key to highlight unlock the bootloader and press the power key to confirm. And with this, the bootloader will now be unlocked. Your phone will also undergo a wipe in the process, and after that the bootloader stands unlocked, and we could then move ahead with the next step. So the process will take around 20 to 30 seconds. As you could see, the wiping is now going on and the wipe is complete, and your phone will automatically boot to the OS. And again, the boot up might take up some additional time. This is completely normal and nothing to worry about because the phone has been undergone a reset. So let's just wait for it to boot up. So guys, with this we are inside the setup process. Let me again skip all this setup process and take you to the OS so that we may then start off with the next step as well. It will take only a few seconds. So let's quickly skip all this and skip this as well, and we should next. Okay, let me select the buttons option so that it becomes easier. Okay, I may not select it now. Let's choose this, and with this we are now inside the OS. So let's now proceed ahead with the next step. So now you will have to install an OTA update so that the latest OxygenOS 11 is now there in slot B as well. As of now, we have flashed the OxygenOS 11 using MSM tool, and that has been flashed in slot A. So now we'll have to flash in slot B. For that, you will have to install just one OTA update, and that will get the job done. So connect your phone via Wi-Fi, and let's do that. So we are now inside the settings menu. From there, go to system updates, and you should now get an OTA update which will be of OxygenOS 11 itself. So let's download and install it. Let's wait for it to appear. So you might get a prompt on your phone. Since the bootloader is currently logged, we have got a higher size OTA update. That's not an issue. Just tap on download and install, and the process will now start, and it could take up to a few minutes. So let's just wait for that to happen. Once the update has been installed, just tap on reboot, and with that the latest OxygenOS 11 will be there in slot B as well. So with this we will have got the OxygenOS 11 across both the slot A via MSM tool and slot B using the OTA update. So let's just wait for the download and install to complete, and then we could move ahead with the next step. So guys, once the update has been installed, just tap on reboot, and your phone will now reboot to the OS, and you will now have the latest OxygenOS 11 in slot B as well. So let's just wait for our phone to boot up. This should not take much, so it should boot up in around 10 to 15 seconds. Anyways, let's just wait, and after that our next course of action is to then boot our phone to the Fastboot mode once again. So let's just wait for our phone to boot up. We will then enable USB debugging and then boot our phone to the Fastboot mode via the adb reboot bootloader command. So let's wait for a few more seconds. So with this we are now inside the OS, and let's verify the process. And as of now, in most cases the debugging should be enabled beforehand, but if it's not the case with your phone, then go to settings, about phone, and tap on build number 7 times. You will get a prompt that you are now a developer. Then go to system developer option and enable the toggle next to USB debugging. You will get a prompt, tap on OK. If you get an RC key prompt as well, tap on allow, and with this debugging is now enabled. So let's now boot our phone to the Fastboot mode. For that, type in adb reboot bootloader and hit enter, and your phone should now reboot into Fastboot mode in a few seconds. Once that happens, let's now proceed ahead, and now you will have to flash the TWRP recovery onto your phone. So go to the official site and get hold of both the IMG and zip file. It's recommended to download the version 3.6.0. So let me show you. This is the version 3.6.0. This is the IMG file and this is the zip file. So download both the files from here, and once you have got the file, let's now transfer the file onto our phone as well as PC. So the IMG file should be transferred inside the platform tools folder on your PC. So transfer it here. On the other hand, the zip file should be transferred onto your phone. So copy the recovery zip file, and if your phone is not visible here, not an issue. As of now, let's simply boot our phone to the Fastboot mode using this command. So for the ease of convenience, let's rename the file to something shorter. So just rename it to TWRP and the complete name becomes TWRP.img. So first off, we will temporarily boot our phone to this recovery, and then we will do a flashing permanently. So just use the Fastboot boot TWRP.img command, and with this, your phone will now reboot into TWRP recovery for one-time usage. After that, we'll flash the zip file and make the recovery permanent. So let's just wait, and your phone should now reboot into TWRP recovery in a matter of few seconds. And once you are inside the recovery homepage, which will take a few more seconds, your phone should then be visible on your PC. So let's just wait, and as you could see, our phone is now visible. So now transfer the recovery zip file onto your phone. So let's transfer it here, and once that is done, go to install, select the recovery zip file and do a right swipe to flash it. The flashing will now start and will take a few seconds. So let's just wait for the flashing to complete. Once the flashing is done, you will now have to do a format data. This will wipe off all the data from your phone. Moreover, the touch might not work quite well after flashing the recovery. So you might have to type in a little bit hard, and you will have to type in a couple of times in some cases for the touch to work. As you could see from here, that's not an issue. The rest of the touch will work. Only the keys will not work. The three keys, the back, home and menu buttons will not work. Apart from that, the entire touch will work without any issues. Anyways, let's now do our format data. Once that is done, type in yes, and you may now tap on the reboot system button after doing a format data. So your phone will now reboot to the OS. Once again, the boot up will take up some time. So let's just wait, and this time around our phone should now boot in slot B. So let's wait for the phone to boot up. So guys, our phone is now booted up, and now you will have to reboot your phone to the TWRP recovery. So there's no need to carry out the entire setup process. Simply power off your phone, and after that, press and hold the power and volume down keys for a few seconds, and your phone will then reboot into the recovery mode directly. So let's just wait, and let's verify the result. And we are now inside the recovery, so we will now move ahead with the next step. So now you will have to copy the partition data to slot B. For that, we will use the Lineage OS copy partition zip file. So go to this link and download the copy partition zip file from here. It's from the official Lineage OS developer. So once you have got the file, transfer the file onto your phone. So just a minute, let me copy and paste the file. So this is the copy partition zip file. Copy it and send it to your phone, and now you will have to flash it. So go to install, select the copy partition zip file and do a right swipe to flash it. The flashing is done. It will take only a few seconds to copy all the data to slot B, and once that is done, you will then again have to reboot your phone to the system. So as you can see, we are getting the done and OK message. So select reboot and choose system, and your phone will boot to the OS. This time the boot up will not take that much longer. So let's just wait for a phone to boot up, and after that you will once again have to reboot to the recovery. Do note that you will have to reboot to the system. You cannot simply reboot to the recovery in between two flashes. It's always recommended to reboot to system and then once again reboot to recovery. At least for this ROM, you cannot simply reboot to recovery after every flashing. Instead, you will have to reboot to the system and then once again reboot to recovery. So let's once again do that. So first and foremost, power off the phone and unplug your phone as well from the PC. Then use the power and volume down keys. Hold it for a few seconds until you feel the vibration. And once that happens, you may then let go of the keys and your phone will now reboot to the TWRP recovery, and you may then connect your phone to the PC by USB cable once again. And once that happens, we will now start the ROM flashing process. So first you will have to transfer the Jaguar ROM file and the zip file, the recovery zip file onto your phone. So let's transfer both these files. Just a minute. This is the recovery zip file and this is the ROM file. So copy both this file and transfer it onto your phone. It might take a couple of minutes. So let's just wait for the transfer to complete. So guys, the files have been transferred, both the files. So let's move ahead with the next step. So first and foremost, you will have to flash the Jaguar ROM. So go to the install section of TWRP, select the Jaguar ROM zip file and do a right swipe to flash it. The flashing will now start and the ROM flashing will take up to around 6 to 8 minutes. So let's just wait for the flashing to complete. So guys, the ROM flashing is now done. You will get a few warning messages, a few issues. That's completely normal. Just make sure that you are getting a successful message next to install zip. Once you're getting that message, you will now have to flash the TWRP recovery zip file. So go back to the home screen, select the install, and under install, choose the TWRP zip file and do a right swipe to flash it. With this, the recovery zip file will now be flashed onto your phone, and it will take a few seconds for that to happen. So let's just wait for the flashing to complete. Again, you might get a few issues. That's completely normal. Just make sure you're getting the successful message at the top. If that's well and good, again go to the home screen of the recovery, and now you'll have to do a format data. So go to wipe format data, type in yes and hit the blue check mark, and the data wipe is now complete, and you will now select the reboot system and your phone will now reboot to the OS. Do keep in mind that the first boot up will take up some additional time frame. This is completely normal and nothing to worry about. From the subsequent time, that will not be the case. Anyways, let's just wait for the boot animation to appear, which will signify that the flashing has been done successfully. As you could see, is the Jaguar boot animation. So we are done with the flashing. Let's wait for the phone to boot to the OS, and after that we will flash a custom AVB file and then relock the bootloader on your phone. So guys, we are now inside the setup screen. Let me quickly skip the setup process and take you to the OS, and let me skip this as well. And with this, we are now inside the custom ROM. So now if you want to get hold of the custom AVB file and relock the bootloader, this is a paid feature, and for that you will have to contact the developer. So to contact the developer, go to the settings menu, then go to the system, and from here go to Relock Bootloader, and you could see his email ID. Contact him and he will give you a file. It will be a pkmd.bin file, which will be only of a few bytes. So he will give you this file, and then you may move ahead. On the other hand, if you don't want the paid feature, then simply skip this step and move ahead with the next step, which is the rooting of the Jaguar ROM. Anyways, I have got this file, so I'll show you how to flash the custom AVB and relock the bootloader, and after locking the bootloader, we will then root our phone as well. So first and foremost, get hold of this file, and once you have got this file, transfer the file to the platforms folder on your PC. So let's transfer the file here. Once that is done, we will have to boot our phone to the Fastboot mode. So first off, let's go to the settings menu, then go to about phone and tap on build number 7 times. You will get a prompt that you have enabled development settings. Now go back, go to system, then go to developer option and enable the toggle next to USB debugging. You will get a prompt, tap on OK. You might get an RC key prompt as well. In that case, tap on allow, and with this, debugging is enabled. So let's boot our phone to the Fastboot mode now. For that, type in ADB reboot bootloader, and your phone will now reboot into Fastboot mode. And now we'll simply have to flash the custom AVB file, which will then allow us to relock the bootloader as well. So once you're in the Fastboot mode, as you could see, currently it's unlocked. Now copy this command and paste it in the CMD window to flash the file, and the file has been flashed. After that, we may now relock the bootloader. For that, type in Fastboot OEM lock and hit enter. You will get a prompt on your phone. Use the volume key to highlight, lock the bootloader, and press the power key to confirm. The bootloader on your phone will now be logged, and it will take a few seconds for that to happen. And as you can see, the screen has been changed, and we have got that your device has loaded a different operating system, and we have got a unique device ID as well. That was not the case beforehand. And your phone should now reboot into the OS in a matter of few seconds. If it reboots to the recovery, that's not an issue. You just have to do a format data. This format data is compulsory. Even if your phone does not reboot to the recovery, you will have to manually reboot to recovery and then do a format data. Once that is done, you may then reboot to system. So tap on reboot to system, and your phone should now reboot to the OS. The first boot up will again take up some additional time. This is completely normal. So again, I am repeating, once you have relocked the bootloader and you will have to choose reboot system, your phone will automatically reboot to the TWRP recovery. So if that happens, then do a format data and only then select reboot system. Even if your phone does not reboot to TWRP, you will manually have to reboot to TWRP and then do a format data and select reboot system now only then. So let's wait for the phone to boot up, and then we'll move ahead and root our phone as well. As of now, we have a working custom recovery, a custom ROM, and the bootloader has been logged. So let's just wait for the phone to boot up. After that, we will obtain root as well via Magisk, and then our task stands complete. So guys, with this we are now inside the OS. As you could see, you have to set up the phone from scratch because we have done a format data. So let me skip all this and we are inside the OS. And now once again we'll have to reboot our phone to the Fastboot mode for rooting our phone via Magisk. So first off, go to About Phone and tap on build number 7 times. Then go back and go to System and Developer option, enable the toggle next to USB debugging. Tap on OK, then tap on Allow in the USB debugging prompt. Once that is done, simply use the command adb reboot bootloader once again and hit enter, and your phone will now reboot into the Fastboot mode, which will take only a few seconds. In the meantime, get hold of the latest Magisk APK file from my guide. At the time of recording is version 27. So download the APK file from here, and once you have got the APK file, transfer the APK file onto your phone. This is the official download link and this is the changelog as well. So get the official Magisk and then do the transfer onto your phone. So let me do that as well. As you could see, the bootloader has been logged. Anyways, moving on, let's transfer the file onto our phone. So from here, let's boot our phone to the recovery mode, because in fact we have to boot our phone to the recovery and not Fastboot. So simply do a reboot to recovery. By mistake, I booted to Fastboot mode. That's not an issue. You could simply do a reboot to recovery by using the adb reboot recovery command, or by booting to Fastboot, and from there you may use the volume keys to boot to the recovery mode. And once you are in the recovery, your phone should then be visible on your PC. So let's wait, and in the meantime, let's copy the Magisk APK file. This is the Magisk APK. Copy it and transfer the file onto your phone. So transfer it here and paste it here. Once you have got it, go to install, select the Magisk APK file and flash it, and do a right click to flash it. The flashing will now start and will take only a few seconds. Once the flashing has been done, your phone could take up to around 10 to 15 seconds for that to happen. So let's just wait for the flashing to complete, and then we could move ahead with the next step. It's now patching and repacking the new boot img file, and will take a few more seconds. You don't have to convert the APK to zip. You can now manually easily flash the Magisk APK via recovery itself. So it has made our job easier. And once the flashing is done, just tap on reboot and select system, and your phone will now reboot to the OS. As of now, the rooting is still not complete. You will have to manually install the APK in the front end. Although the Magisk has been installed in the back end, you will now have to get hold of the UI and UX of the app as well. For that, you will have to install Magisk and then do a direct install. So let's just wait for it to phone to boot up, and then we'll do a direct install of Magisk. And only after that, the rooting is complete. So this is the boot animation and will take a few more seconds for the phone to boot up. So let's just wait for that, and we are now inside the OS. Now open the File Manager app, and from here, install the Magisk APK file. You will also have to be online at this point in time. So let me quickly connect my phone to the Wi-Fi. Magisk requires to download some additional dependency. So make sure you are online. And with this, we are connected to the internet. Once that is done, tap on done, and now launch the Magisk app. Then tap on OK. In the prompt that appears, it will now download and install the Magisk. Then tap on install once again. Once that is done, it will take a few more seconds for the app icon to update. As you can see, we have got the Magisk app. Open it, and now you will get a prompt. Tap on OK. Then select direct install recommended and tap on let's go. Magisk will now patch and flash the new boot img file and will take only a few more seconds. Once that happens, you will get a reboot option at the bottom right. So let's just wait for the flashing to complete. Will take a few more seconds, and then you just have to tap on the reboot button, and with this your task stands complete. So let's just wait for the flashing to complete, and now tap on reboot. As you could see in the bottom right, tap on reboot, and this time around your phone will now boot to the OS and you would have obtained permanent root. Let me show you that as well. So this is the last time, and with this all the task stands complete. So as of now, we have flashed a custom ROM, we are having a custom recovery, and our phone has obtained root via Magisk, all in a Relock bootloader. Yes, that's all thanks to this one single file as I have shown you here, which is a paid feature. You may still use the ROM completely free of cost, and you may also root the ROM without any payment. But if you want to use the ROM in a log bootloader, you will have to make a payment. That's the only thing. And as you could see, let me launch the Magisk app, and we have obtained root with the latest Magisk build. And from here itself, let me show you, we are also having the TWRP recovery as well. Let me show you that. And after that, I'll show you the status of my bootloader as well. It's currently logged, so I will show you that as well. So our phone should now reboot into the TWRP recovery. And after that, we'll have a look at the ROM features as well. So your phone should now reboot into the recovery. So you could see we are also having the recovery. And the final thing to show you is the status of the bootloader. So go to reboot, select bootloader. And let me now show you the bootloader status. It should show as logged. So as you could see, it's currently logged. So with this, on a log bootloader, we are having a custom ROM, a custom recovery, and we have obtained root via Magisk as well, which is quite good to see. So let's now go through the ROM features and have a look at some of the USP of this ROM. Our phone should now boot to the OS in a matter of few seconds. And with this, we could then proceed ahead and check out the ROM features. So this is the boot animation of the ROM, and it should take only a few more seconds for it to boot up. So let's just wait for the ROM, and this is it. This is the settings menu. Go there, and from here, this is the ROM control section. You may customize the button tweaks, as you could see from here. Then next up is the status bar tweaks. Quite a lot of options from here as well. All the options that you get in CR, Droid, Evolution, X ROMs, and all such AOSP ROMs, you could find all these options here as well. Then we have a navigation bar tweaks as well. So I have to take a screenshot. Some system gestures as well. So it's working well and good. Then navigation bar style as well. Let's choose for the OnePlus, and the chain has been implemented. Then these are the QS tiles toggles. You may change the number of columns and rows of the QS tiles. The settings icon, the battery style, battery percentage. You could change all this as well. Then you have the few lock screen tweaks. Tap to sleep. Double tap anywhere on the lock screen to put the device to sleep. So if the device is awake on the lock screen, double tap and it will go to sleep. As you could see from here, double tap to wake is also implemented. Then you may also enable some of the other options on the lock screen, but this will lead to additional battery drainage as well. The fingerprint animation is also there in this ROM. You may choose a few. There are quite a few fingerprint styles, as you could see from here. The molecule, HoloLink, you may choose any of these styles from here. Then apart from that, there are a few notification tweaks, the AOD as well. Again, you could see it leads to increased battery usage. Edge lighting, it will light up the notifications. When you get a notification, it will light up the edges of your phone on the lock screen. And there are quite a lot of options in the gaming mode. You may enable the gaming mode, and all these tweaks, you may disable the gestures, USB debugging, and block all the notifications. Then you may add all the apps that you want in the gaming mode. Then there are a few sound tweaks as well. Apart from that, these are the developer info. Again, I am repeating, go to system, go to Relock Bootloader, and this is the email ID. You could contact him, and you may get hold of this file after making a payment. And then you may refer to my guide and get the job done. The payment is only required if you want to relock the bootloader. On the other hand, the flashing steps as well as the rooting steps are completely free. You may easily flash the ROM and root the ROM via Magisk without doing any payments. The payment is only required if you want to relock the bootloader on your phone. So guys, on that note, I round off this video. If you have any queries, do let me know in the comment section, and thanks a lot for watching.